The winner of Summoner's Choice buff or rework, whatever term you want to use, for 2024. Hopefully, this is like the first of many. It is Cyclops, 90s Cyclops, not Cyclops Blue Team. Come on, everyone calls this guy 90s Cyclops. Come on. So yeah, I'm not surprised by this because I did say like when I made a video saying right about some of the Summoner's Choice like buff was a good idea. I said it was going to be between probably like Cyclops and Doctor Strange, and both of those guys made it through to the final. So what do you know? I was right. And obviously this was done on Instagram, which I don't think was the best place for this. I'm going to be honest, because I think this was, even this might have taken a little bit more time. I do think that this should have been a vote that took place in the game itself, I'm going to be honest, because not only would we gotten a lot more votes, I think the voting would have been a little bit different. I still think it would have been between Strange and Cyclops, but I do think Doctor Strange would have won it if it was done just in game. That's just my personal opinion. As I said, either one of these, either Cyclops or Strange, was ones I wanted to get buffed. So I'm perfectly fine with Cyclops getting it. Like, yeah, it's cool. Would have loved to see Doctor Strange as well. But I think it being on Instagram was quite a big misstep by Kabam, I'm going to be honest. Not only because like I'm not a big fan of social media in general anyway, but I just think it would have been a lot more fun. But it's like, people who, if this was actually in game with people who got the email, it would have been a lot more different. Personally, I do think it would have been a little. Well, it actually did get very interesting. Because when the vote was done, I believe, well, the last time I looked at it was a couple hours before it finished. It was at 50-50, but if you saw the bar was just so ever slightly just over towards Cyclops. So even though it said 50-50, it would have been like 50 point, like probably like 3 or 4 or whatever. Like it was a super, super close vote. And yeah, as they say, what was it, edging out victory in the final moments? Exactly the same thing. I believe the same thing happened with Omega Sentinel and Hercules, because I think when they were for Summoner's Choice character or champion to come to the game, I believe it was Omega Sentinel, and then Hercules got it like in the final like day or two. So this isn't exactly uncommon, but I did this video with White Tiger and Gladiator. Of course, again, just with every time you for something votes for something in game or just like anything in general, obviously people aren't very happy that the character they voted for didn't get a buff. Welcome to fucking democracy, everybody. I'm quite famous talking about democracy, and I've got a Star Wars mug here full of tea, because the outrage for this isn't as bad as White Tiger and Gladiator. When Gladiator won that, and then obviously Gladiator turned out to be shit, and now he's actually not too bad now. Just a character, not for me. So let's dive through some of the comments on Twitter, because no one calls it X. How does this get chosen over Doctor Strange? Major yikes! Right. Let me say that I can think of 2 reasons why Cyclops got voted. Cyclops just barely beat Doctor Strange. Again, this was incredibly close. So really, before we get into the comments on Twitter, right, Doctor Strange, for those who don't know, was one of, at the beginning of the game, and before 12.0, he was one of the best characters in the game, up there with OG 4, OG Black Widow, Scarlet Witch. Like, those were like the best characters in the game by far. And then 12.0 happened, which nerfed OG Black Widow into the ground. 4 actually it does have a little bit of presence here and there in the game. Especially if there was one BG meta where 4 was actually quite good. Was it on Explosive Personality? I think it was. And then yeah, OG Black Widow was good for was it Karate Mike's CCP challenge, and Scarlet Witch. She's we've got a 7-star version of classic Scarlet Witch now, and she's somewhat put in the game if you've got her at high sig. But back in the day, was it and then Doctor Strange just has not seen like any play at all since like 12.0. I'm going to be honest, and yeah, would it be nice if we got if Doctor Strange got buffed and was just as good as he was back then? Of course it would. Like I'm not going to disregard saying I didn't want Doctor Strange. Again, I wanted either one of these champions. Like I did not really. I just wanted at least one of these guys to get a fight into the final, and we got both of them. So I'm personally fine no matter what. But with we've got like Enchantress come into the game. And then I think with like some of the when they did like the narrative roadmap, I think we got some other mystics coming to the game, so hopefully they're just as good. Obviously we got Destroyer this year as well. I think the mystic class is doing fine. The mutant isn't particularly doing so well. Obviously we got like characters like Onslaught, and obviously you see like high sig 7-star Dominoes in the game, and Negasonic's getting some love in I think Alliance One. So I see him BG sometimes as well, but it's just not as the mutant class isn't as prominent as the Mystic in my opinion. So I think that's the reason why Cyclops won as well. Cyclops is also a good meme in the community as well, and in the game, because if you guys remember, Kabam Mike was like a big on the Cyclops meme. So that's the reason. And also I think probably the main reason, if you've seen like the Instagram comments, half of them are X-Men 97 gifs, because that show did Cyclops, not just Cyclops, but the X-Men so much justice. That show, that continuation of the 97 the X-Men cartoon, that did more for Cyclops and the X-Men than like a fuck ton of the Fox movies did, and that was just in 10 episodes, and we're gonna get more, so that's probably a big reason as well. So yeah, but I think those are the main reasons Doctor Strange just narrowly lost that vote. Memes, the fact that I think the Mystic class is actually quite in a solid state at the moment, and the mutant's still somewhat lacking, but again, that's my own personal opinion. And X-Men 97, those are the reasons why I think Cyclops won this vote. But anyway, let's get into some Twitter comments, shall we? So obviously you read out that one, which I've basically just explained. Thank God. Doctor Strange shafted again, almost a decade later. Did Doctor Strange get shafted? No, not really. Was it? I'm sure that, we've seen it with Summoner's Choice champions. We got Gladiator in the game, and we got White Tiger at the beginning of this year. So I am sure we will get in like some, because Kabam, they're doing like the sagas, they're trying to buff a champion per saga. I am sure if we will get a Doctor Strange buff during a saga. I am sure of that, definitely now. Especially it was 50-50. This is an interesting comment. With the X-Men 97 show and all the love from Kabam about it, this is not shocking at all, and sadly it stinks of foul play again. Does that sentence just not contradict it? How does that stink of foul play? Because a streaming, not a Netflix show, a Disney Plus show came along, gave the X-Men some love, gave Cyclops a lot of love. And the fact that Kabam, well, not necessarily so much now, but Kabam Mike was, a big Cyclops enthusiast in the game. Does that not like contradict it? How is that foul play? Because another a really good X-Men show came out, and the former head senior community manager loved the character. How is that fucking foul play? How? And congrats to all those happy, and sorry to those who got swindled into ever thinking that this was done ethically. What the fuck? Honestly. Like I said, he deserves it. Sorry, Stephen, maybe next time. Yeah, fair. Thought it was 50-50. Again, look, nothing... It's not going to be 50-50, all right? If you... So, again, you see me in Instagram vote, you see it's just a smidge just over Cyclops. Still will never use him, okay? Don't choose him, 10 years, and nothing wit Groot for Groot. I agree, show some Groot love. Don't believe this at all. Y'all just didn't want to buff Strange because the community overwhelmingly wanted Strange buff. Again, I've used this argument before. Not everyone who plays the game does not watch YouTubers or streamers, whatever, the content creator side of it do. Some people just play the fucking game, all right? And they have their own opinions and how they play the game. Maybe the same thing happened here. We've seen it with the Ant-Man and Guillotine buff. I think everyone thought Ant-Man was going to get a buff, but Guillotine got it. I think again, I just don't get people can't comprehend that. More rigged voting, awesome job. What a disappointment was musical, but nothing. Again, I've said this before. Twitter was a place where people just come because they're upset and they want to make other people upset. I've said that in videos before. To be fair, they do need to rework all the OG characters. I don't think this guy's played the game for a while because OG Spider-Man got buffed. I know some people like him, some of them don't. Superior Iron Man just got a buff, and he's pretty good. So yeah. Now we've got to wait to 2026 Doctor Strange Justice. How is that? Again, I've explained that. It's not 100% 50-50. I think maybe if it was if they put 50 point, maybe people would still be accepted, but then you'd still have people say, it's still rigged. But anyway. Here we go. Finally, I think we're going to end the video here. This is a base take. Truly, Cyclops needs to be reworked most of all, complete with animations, overhaul, and everything. You can keep all of Doctor Strange animations, just making the next chance to get a buff rework a la Nightcrawler and Superior Iron Man. Based take from Cassidy Nightbear. Absolutely based take, and we're going to leave it there. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to like it. I wanted to do this video because, well, I did it for Gladiator and White Tiger, and I actually really enjoyed making that video, so I thought I'd do it again because I knew soon as I saw Cyclops got the win, people are going to be upset. But again, if Doctor Strange won, people will still be upset because that's the world we live in now. So yeah, if you like this video, feel free to like it. Dislike it if you disliked it because I said something I've said quite a lot of things in this video a lot of people probably won't like. And if you like this, this video, check out some of my other content. And if you like my other content, turn that red subscribe button to grey. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.